Well, thank you, viewers, once again for tuning into the Sanjubaba show. Really appreciate that. As I said earlier, that I do take phone calls, and I've received quite a few phone calls from a lot of you guys over here asking me a lot of questions and sharing with me some of your thoughts and ideas. I really appreciate that. Once again, my number is 226-6024. Catch hold of me, talk to me, let me know what you like about this program. Let me know if you know anybody over here who would like to be interested in coming to the studio and talking about themselves and sharing some ideas and thoughts for the city of Pocatello that we might like to hear from you. Once again, folks, today we have got another great, interesting person over here today. He is our fourth runner for the mayor's elections, which is coming up on the 5th of November. So you have seen the first three with me already, and I'm very happy to have in the studios today Mr. Idaho Lorax.
Thank you.
Idaho, such a pleasure to have you in the studios today. Now, let me start with this very quick, Idaho. Is Idaho Lorax the way you want me to address you? What, you have a separate name, Sierra, Idaho Lorax?
No, well, people know me by other names.
Okay. What is your real name?
Not really a confused thing. My real name is Idaho Lorax.
Okay.
Idaho is what I prefer to be called. People confuse the word Lorax with character in a story or a movie because it's come out, but it's been usable my name for quite some time, including other people in the country who are, I guess you could call them relatives. You know, anyone who has a different name could be an issue. The other names, they're in Latin. If somebody wants to know what they mean, look them up. Might be very interesting to see what they are. But basically...
Well, I've come across another Sierra name, I believe, and I was confused whether I should address you as Idaho Lorax or Sierra Idaho Lorax. But I'm glad that you clarified it today, that you are Idaho Lorax, but thank you so much.
Sierra's mountain, right?
All right, yeah.
What about the other one? Carta.
Carta, yes.
Well, that's law.
I see.
So, mountain law.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So where are you from originally, Idaho?
Terra firma.
From?
Terra firma.
Terra firma.
Terra firma.
Where is that? Tell us a little bit more about that place.
A little bit more about the place.
Yeah.
Well,
Terra
it tends
firma.
to be a lot of highlands, mountainous, valleys though too. You know, pretty much like you see around here, mountains
Which
and valleys.
state is it in?
I didn't say it was in a state.
Okay. Terra firma.
Terra firma. Obviously,
I have not come across that name or the city or the place, really.
You're lacking in Latin, too.
Yes, I am. Absolutely, I am. So if you would tell our viewers, that would be great. But when did you move to Pocatello?
I'm a traveler. I have lived all over the world, all over the country. I work on different projects. Wherever I go, of course, I usually attend a university. I usually teach school. I usually working with other community groups, maybe helping organize them. In the arts, I'm an artist in all areas, as I am a scientist in all areas and an educator in all areas. My background does come from a diversity of people, educational elements, gifted and talented programs, gifted and talented in college. Just the way my life has been, you know, just absorbing knowledge, utilizing it, applying it. Problem solver. I'm a major problem solver, and I have the skills beyond what most people do as an individual to do it, though I always prefer a team, and I always like to work with a team. As I say, my motto, collaboration, cooperation.
You know, it's a privilege for me to sit down with you, an educationist, an artist, a scientist, a problem solver. My gosh, you know, you've got it all, Idaho.
Entertainer, you know
entertainer, yes. You've got it all. So we are privileged to have you in Pocatello, really. This is the kind of people we need over here, a diverse kind of person. So, Idaho, you are running for mayor for the city of Pocatello. What makes you take that decision? Why did you think about running for mayor for the city of Pocatello?
Well, politics isn't something I'm unfamiliar with. In fact, most of the efforts of communities, governments, or places I'm dealing with, it's because of political atmosphere that brings me into a problem or has me brought in, because I had to resolve it. Since I know how to get public attention, I know how to get attention, I know how to expose things. My legal background, as well as entertainment, as we would say, art is the answer. It's a lot of things times we use. That's our way of expression in our life. It's our free speech. It's our written. It's who we are. If we can't express ourselves, then it gets clamped up, gets silenced. So I help encourage that, of course, in places, of course, that have those rights. But you'd be surprised how many places don't have them or have a lot of trouble exercising them. For instance, Pocatello is a great example of that.
So you are, if I'm understanding right, you are an environmentalist, you are an entertainer, you are a scientist, you have done some school education, you taught a lot of schools, colleges, I believe. Mm-hmm. Putting everything together, if I funnel that, I don't see a politician at the end of the result, end of the funnel. How did that come to your thought process that, okay, if I run for mayor tomorrow, I can fix these kind of issues which is not fixed as of today? Now, what do you think, Idaho, is one thing that you think is right in the city of Pocatello, you think is wrong in the city of Pocatello that you think you can fix once you're elected as a mayor of Pocatello?
Well, we've come to define a word called politician. Mm-hmm. Can you yourself tell me what that means to you? Tell me what being political means, being a politician. I ask that of people.
Sure.
And of course, in most of the answers, that's why if you want to answer, here's your chance to define that. Is corruption, basically manipulation, control issues. That's how we look at our politics. That is politics. It defines politics in this country. Corrupt, manipulative, distorting, redacting, lying, manipulating. That's commonplace here. So am I a politician? Heck no. I'm what you need to run a world, like a science department or a streets department or accounting, and the people who do the work. Politicians, popularity. They don't want to make a wave. They don't want to do this. There's usually somebody up their sleeve or barking in their ear or calling them up in the middle of the night saying, hey, this is what I want you to do for me, and favor, scratch backs. Where is open government? So I think it was made very clear, most people know me, I don't believe in any closed meetings. If you want to meet with me, if I'm as mayor, you just come in the room. It'll probably be in the city council chambers with anyone else who wants to be there, either to listen, to partake, or waiting their turn. We used to call it King's Court. I do not look at myself as any kind of king because we have good kings and bad king reigns. I look at myself as an educated, well-educated, intelligent person, willing to listen, willing to work with, and encouraging anybody who comes in to work and help develop teamwork in the community.
I totally agree about as far as educated you are. I've listened to various of your talks, and I've listened to you come and communicate with people. You have spoke to me in various occasions in various sectors and various fields, and I could feel that you have got a huge knowledge in various areas. But I'm still trying to catch, as a leader of Pocatello, what are you going to change? One thing that you think is not right in Pocatello as of today.
I think that's up on our statement here for the city of Pocatello on the website of the 4 questions. I am here to represent my clients. I am here to save lives. I have been here in the past to save lives. I have been part of saving thousands of lives here. The cover-up, the issue of contamination in our community is of utmost importance to me. I didn't come here unprepared. I came in here with testifying in the hearings, naming the culprits. This before anybody knew I was here or any name, because I did not share my identity here. I did not get in the paper. Didn't do any of that. I worked with county. I worked with city as consulting. Let's have a way to resolve the problem. I was here in the past. It got stopped. It made it illegal.
What is the problem are you talking about that you are? I've heard this word problem a couple times already.
Basically, we have a history here of mining. 1942, Simplot, understandably, during the war, wanted to get more potatoes to grow to help the war effort. Honorable thing to do. Doesn't necessarily the government was going to tell him what this is in here, but obviously at that time people knew, well, phosphorus helps plants grow. Also causes eutrophication in lakes and streams and other problems when it's used. But basically that was another alternative for to supply nutrients for faster growth for plants so they can get more potatoes, more rations for the soldiers to help win the war. But he had to get permission from the government to mine this material. And that permission was because of what it was. It was already designated as our nuclear stockpile of the United States. We have tremendous amounts of it here. We could have nuclear reactors from now to the end of the world, which hopefully isn't too soon. But there's always problems with these kinds of things, like where and how they're done. I've always been an advocate.
How would you follow
cleanliness.
that up? How would you fix that issue?
Well, the issue has been very simple. As when I came here, first with county, we talked about $4 billion to look at cleaning up the community.
Yeah.
You know, looking at some negotiating fact with the EPA, who could ask for any amount for it from a corporation that left with hundreds of billions of dollars. I had them admit that in the hearings. But, you know, people too much look at Simplot. They can smell it, you know, they go by it. That's not the culprit. That's not the problem. FMC is a military industrial, part of the military industrial complex, a very large military corporation. They make weapons. And that's what they came here. They are not tied into the leases. They weren't tied into the mining. They just got it given to them and extracted and took it and stockpiled the other materials that they wanted. So first was the phosphorus, that's the money maker on the top, and then comes the other elements in the ore. The ore was reduced, the ore is simplified to make it easy to tap off different materials. But that ore, in its processed form, is elemental uranium in all of its daughter products, about 60 of them, all of which are alpha-beta emitters, just like solar wind. If we're not protected by our radiation belt, and the aurora borealis, as they spin down because they're charged particles, it kills all life.
Why did our leaders not take action on that, according to you?
Well, 1983, which is a few years after my first entry here, dealing with the Banbury fallout from the downwinders, because that's what I was here for, and also as a watchdog on the nuclear reactor testing station, which is now INL, and they've grown a lot. They've come a long ways. But this was a different culprit here, untouched, untouchable in some ways. And that's the way some of the legislators already feel. Oh, it's impossible. You know, well, then what are you doing in office here representing our people if you feel it's impossible? So in 1983, there was memorandums made, agreements made, with the Idaho Department of Environmental Quality, the Health Department, and things to protect FMC, the corporation. And so here we are in a dilemma of who can deal with it. We got agencies corrupt and limited by their political
Well, today we don't have FMC anymore.
Well, that's part of the other irony. They've been going for, 14 years. They're still bickering about how to deal with the material out there. And I ask a simple question of both of my candidates here, especially Roger Chase, who's been here while I was gone. And that interim, I wasn't here when he was mayor or legislator. And I said, how come Pocatello is not included in the Superfund site? Same material, spread in our streets, spread in our schools, spread in our driveways, our alleyways, in some of our homes here. You know, so a lot of it's been covered up. Now, I'm going to say the city didn't spend probably $500 million cleaning it up through the years. Or not cleaning it up, excuse me, covering it up. But it weathers out, and it doesn't stay maintained. The EPA comes, tries to give a bandage thing. They come and look at the Sacagawea Park. Oh, well, just take what's wearing off of the road, the uranium material, funnel it down through chutes in our sewer system and collect it down there. When it builds up, we'll take it and do what with it? They can sell it. You know, that's what I would do with it. But in the meantime, we're contaminating, exposing our people in our community, our pets, our animals, our children.
So you have been talking to a lot of community people, the citizens of Pocatello, regarding your ideas and views about environmental issues. And I have been hearing for quite some time Idaho right now. What is your take on that? What is the reaction of the city of the citizens from the city of Pocatello? What are their reaction towards your thoughts and thought process in this area?
This is part of the great dilemma of apathy and denial and anger in our community, because it just pervades everyone who's lived here a long time, because they've lost loved ones to cancer. Either the odd leukemias, the odd brain cancers, and just cancers in general, their pets, their animals that don't even live that long. You know, that is there of everybody I meet. The new people in the community, they don't have a clue You know, I go to them and they go, whoa, they get angry. I didn't know anything about this. Well, it's on the internet. Why don't you look it up? You know, part of the new generation, look it up. And you know, they're starting to get wind of it, so to speak, because they are up in the hills there. What's that? That Satterfield Drive. There it is, Satterfield Drive. I walked down it. I said to Brian, I said once, what do you think's going to happen when I leaflet, or we leaflet, the Lorax group, or any of those other groups I'm with, Mothers Against Death, or Nuclear Counterbats? What's going to happen when we educate them people there? The people who've come in, brought their money from outside. You don't think they'd be a little angry? In fact, that's exactly what they are. You know, some of them want to be ignorant. That's okay. You can believe what you want. I'm only here to give you information. Our organizations are only here to give you information. We're here to share what's been covered up, what's been redacted, what's been eliminated, what won't even be shared by freedom of information.
So what is your campaign issue right now? We have got 2 more weeks left for the elections coming up. Barely 2 more weeks. What is Idaho really trying to accomplish, and what is he trying to relate with the community?
If I don't accomplish my goal of saving lives here and getting the $10 billion of which we'd like for Pocatello to clean up and compensation.
That's a federal funding?
No, this is corporation.
Okay.
Okay, but because federal EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, is involved in that and has to say over it, of course they're involved too. And if when they don't act or they lie or they give them information, then they're part of a lawsuit. So it doesn't end in 2 weeks for us. We start the class action suit. We go all these neighborhoods that have the contamination and get their signatures. Get them involved in a class action suit. We already know who we're naming.
What is Idaho doing in this 2 weeks to promote yourself?
Well, we basically give that information out. We haven't changed much what we do. I think we have a little flyer. It's about this big. I think we spent $3.82 on the first finance thing to report our finance expenditures. Maybe the next time I'd have maybe $30, maybe $25. Because what we're here is what we're here for, and that's what we give people. That's our job. That's my job. So why am I running for politics or for office? Because it gets the job done very quickly, because it'll just happen. I won't have to get some freedom of information letter from Brian Bladd who says he didn't do anything and then get it with his signature on there, a clone letter that has no clue what it even is about. Or the environmentalist that was here, John Sigler, and I'm giving a name, but hey, he worked for Pantex, he worked for the nuclear industry. I'm not the person he should have put in writing that this is a myth, that this material is a myth. You know, in fact, that's Roger Chase's term. I didn't hire him. Brian Bladd didn't even hire him. Roger did.
So I see that you have got conflicts with the first mayor, Chase, who has been there in the office for 8 years, and then Mayor Bladd for the last 4 years. So 12 years of mayoralship. And you have got issues with both the mayors. Now, how you're saying that you're going to just open up the door and sign up everything and let everything, I'll just take care of everybody. Now, do you think that's the real way to lead a city? Do you think that's the right way to lead the city?
Well, so you're confusing the word leader and people.
Okay.
People run our country.
Okay.
People are our country.
But the people follows the leader.
No,
Okay.
a leader is, you might have a bunch of sheep.
Okay.
I don't want sheep. I want people who are willing to do and stand up and testify and speak up for themselves, talk about their cancer, talk about the ones they've lost for cancer. Not a bunch of sheep, because these people got to educate some of them themselves, realizing how this is integrated into their lives, how it's been covered up, how it's been ignored, how it's been misrepresented. Not even use the word uranium, or want to sidetrack and talk about radiation instead of particle emissions that knowingly cause cancer. Or the equipment that exists in eastern Idaho to not only locate this material in your body, but actually remove it or identify the cancer from it. In other words, be able to put in a claim for the Radiation Compensation Act of 1991, known as the Downwinder site, which is $100,000 of wrongful death. That's a claim for, and people don't tell them about that.
Let's talk about the economy of the city of Pocatello.
The what?
The
economy.
Yeah. What do you think? Where are we at today? Did we do good since 29 till 2012? In the last 4 years, did the economy grow? Or are we in the same situation where we were in 2009, or did it fall, according to Idaho?
Hey, I ride a bike a lot. That's what I tell people. You should ride a bike. Even the police, you should ride a bike. And everywhere you go, and not just this community, Blackfoot, Idaho Falls, they may appear, but the number of empty buildings, for rent signs up everywhere, small group of people owning
Did
a
we
lot
grow
of
or
things.
did we not in the last 4 years?
It's been just like it has been nationally. It's been suffering. A lot of misinformation goes out about it. Nobody wants to get people into a panic. But we have just been on a downgrade spin. Our jobs, we're one of the lowest in this country here in terms of cost of living.
According to Mayor Blatt, that we have done, our jobs have grown 6.5% since he took over office. Would you agree to that?
No, I don't want to get into that because I've already heard Roger argue on that, and I gave it to Roger to argue it with him.
Okay.
Because again, there are people who come into the community, come with money, because it's cheaper to live here. They come, if they're lucky to buy out California and move here, they're going to bring here and say, hey, I can build my house on the hill like the other people had above me. That's understandable. They want to have a better life. But they weren't told what it is here, and so some of them find out about the cancer and they pack up and leave just as quick. And I feel bad about that because I'm not here to get people to leave. I want people to stand up and clean it up. And that's mostly people who have lived here. And
How are you going to work bringing corporations to the city of Pocatello? Big, better corporations so people can get more jobs.
Well,
Do you agree on that, number one? Number two, if you do, what will you do for that? If not, what are you going to do for the mom and pops?
well, space is here, okay, for larger companies, for smaller companies, lots of space available. Yes, I support, because a lot of people here have creativity, we have to have products or things that we make in any community. And so entrepreneurialism, I think I'm the foremost person here trying to support local
would agree.
entrepreneurialism. Corporations, if you just suck up to anything that's out there and don't look at what you're dealing with and incorporate certain small ones taking advantages of people here or other small communities, then we get taken. More taxpayers' money spent in the hopes for dreams of more employment. There are good companies out there. In fact, good companies would like to go where there are good people, good environment, and people who are positive about their health, their livelihood. I mean, we talk about, what's that one in Oregon? That people look at Oregon as a clean place because, well, it gets washed a lot. I guess it helps.
Yes.
But there's some people don't want the rain all the time. But, they know parts of Eastern Idaho are contaminated. I mean, we have a nuclear site here. It's been here for years. It doesn't actually say, come here, we're a nice, safe place. But there are elements here that are. This is still a tourist area. This is still an area that is the Rocky Mountains. Should have clean water, should have enough water, should have enough jobs that are related to what we have here. If we're going to do some more mining, if there's any left, make it cleaner, make it work itself. And we've been fighting for that. The cleanup or reclamation projects and things like that. Getting corporations to be responsible. Well, just like we're trying to get corporations responsible, we also would like ones that come here to already be responsible or clean, because there's so much we can do with nutrition in here and foods and other things here rather than just contaminate or jobs that just dump things out. I mean, it's classic. Alan Elias from the Sinai Canary came here, great crooked capitalist, okay, sets up shop across from FMC, gets into all this stuff, contaminating the community and the county more. The EPA write a book about it. It's so corrupt. But why here? Why did he choose here to put a sign up that says suckers live here? Just come and make use of us, rip us off, and contaminate us more. That's a wrong image to put
Tell me one thing that the present mayor Brian Blatt did for the city of Pocatello, which you think that he has done the right thing and he's headed towards the right direction. That you believe?
I'm sorry. I meet every day, every week at the city. I don't know anything. I'm sorry, I don't. Okay. He blocks and tables everything we do. A couple of times they allowed something that I'm involved with on the agenda, and they get walked over, and they don't want that.
What about Allstate Insurance Company, which came in?
Didn't come into Pocatello. That's Chubbuck. I mean, the illusion of what somebody's doing something, that's Chubbuck. I'm not saying Chubbuck isn't pretty good at attracting business because they're getting the image of...
What about Winco?
Winco, well, there's where my cup of tea is, okay? There's the thing that I support, worker-owned industry. Entrepreneurism,
That whole belt over there
that.
has been developed right now,
Yeah.
which has been closed for how many years now? Since 24, 23?
Well, we used to have the Pocatello Mall over there, and,
Right.
and of course, Fred Meyers put Albertson out of business there. And I actually, when I was here, this Events of the Heart, we had the whole Pocatello Mall for 2 years, doing things for youth all over this community, and arts. That's okay.
You have a gold
what?
coin campaign program that you have your own. Tell us something about that.
The Gold Coin Campaign,
Yeah.
again, very interesting little project. Simple. I deal with all kinds of things. Basically, the gold coins, the Sacagawea series and the President series, basically started in Idaho. So why not bank on something that's positive? People like shiny things. I don't care if if it's silver or gold and it's shiny. People like it. We're like crows, okay? We'll go around and it's a shiny thing. Put it in our nest. And all as I do when I go anywhere when I travel as a comedian or any place I go and I tip, I give them a gold coin. And people go, "Whoa, is it real?" Or "What is this?" "Well, thank you," And sometimes I go and I say, "Come on, get the scales out. That's American gold. We know how much it's worth. Come on, give me that." But I'm joking. But the thing is, it's shiny. It looks real. I don't want people to be in an illusion. But at
So
the
what does
same
it
time,
do? What does it do? What are you trying to communicate by giving one or sharing this gold coin?
well, we already had done publicity on it. We interviewed people and businesses that wanted to help out on it and be part of it. Basically, one of the slogans is "Go home with a little gold in your pocket." Come and shop in Idaho. Come and shop in Pocatello. We just wanted the tourist dollar, a little tourist dollars, to put it up there and go, "Hey, come shop here. Come and shop at these
right.
stores, and you'll go home with a little gold in your pocket."
So Idaho Lorax is also a stand-up comedian, I believe,
Yes.
right? That's your entertainment side of the world.
I playwright, musicals, yes.
You write music too.
Musicians, yeah. I play lots of instruments. And
All right.
Dancer, you name it, yes.
Huh. So where can our viewers see your programs?
Well, right now, everybody who wants to use me wants to use my name, Idaho Lorax, and at the same time they go, "Oh, that's too political. Oh, what will that do?" Well, again, people self-censor themselves. They self-censor themselves, or they figure even the not the chief of police, but the fire department, "Oh, shoot, if I have to meet with Idaho Lorax, how will that look on my resume if I meet with the Lorax?" Well, I'm not the Lorax. You can call me Mr. Lorax if you'd like, or Mr. Idaho Lorax, but I'm not the Lorax or the Idaho Lorax.
So do you think that you're losing your identity over here for some reason?
No, identity is me. If you can't trust the heart and the face, that I don't lie, not to anybody. I may not tell you everything you want to
Sure.
know, because I'm a protected person here. And I'm protected because I have to be, because people do not want to be exposed on their corruption.
There are 55, 60,000 people over here in the city of Pocatello, and they're going to go and vote on the 5th of November. Why should they vote for Idaho Lorax for the mayor?
They want to live, because our little posters that are going out just say, "Idaho saves lives." If you can't dig on the base level for that and all the things we do, looking at the money to come in for it, working together, improving, and all the companies here that can benefit on that, it just put us into it'll put us into a boom town.
What would you change in the first 2 years of your office?
Well, first thing I deal with is the people who need protection here, the workers and the people in the public. And there's places that have done nothing to protect them on that, no protection for the workers. And they keep laws of where they've been, how they've been exposed, or they have to do this. They're worried about losing their job. They don't want to speak out. First thing I do is protect them, make sure they can speak out, make sure they can be part of this information and getting the correct information, and also the protection for them. Primary safety.
And what is your, in 10 seconds, what would you do for the downtown of Pocatello?
Well, I've already been doing for the downtown of Pocatello. I'm very much into the arts. And all we do is the Semi-Center, another organization, which what this is, Events of the Heart
Events of the Heart.
1996. We have done all kinds of things for the arts in this community when I've been here.
Folks, that was Idaho Lorax for you. And he is our 4th candidate running for the mayor this coming 5th of November. We are really excited to have him in the studios today. You have heard a lot about him, a lot about his history, his life history, and what his plans are. If there's any questions, concerns, you can call me. We can connect with Idaho Lorax again. Till then, folks, hope you have a fantastic evening. We'll catch you same time, same day next week. and have a wonderful evening.